This is the story of Scylla and Charybdis, two monsters that plagued ancient Greek sailors that might actually be real. The deep sea is a scary place and has always been seen as such by humans across the globe. Far from shore, our frail bodies are helpless against its crashing waves and unpredictable ebb and flow. For this reason, ancient human cultures always told stories that taught us to fear, yet respect the sea, if not avoid it outright. The ancient Greeks are one such culture, but unlike others, their monsters may be a little more real. What am I talking about? Let's find out in today's story. Many know of Homer's ancient epic poem, the Odyssey, in which the clever king of Ithaca, Odysseus, makes a long and arduous journey home and encounters all sorts of misfortune and adventure along the way. Odysseus faces many perils on his quest, both at sea and on the islands visited by him and his crew. One such challenge Odysseus faces is a challenge that many ancient Greek sailors, both real and in myth, faced, passing between Scylla and Charybdis. Scylla and Charybdis are two sea monsters who inhabit the narrowest point of the Strait of Messina, a narrow passage of water that separates the island of Sicily from the Italian mainland. These two monsters, both imagined by the ancients to be female, work together on opposite ends of the strait to sink ships and drag sailors away to their untimely deaths, after which these voracious monsters will consume them. While they work in tandem, both of these monsters have different strategies and origin stories. Let's start with Scylla, who is believed to be the daughter of the ancient sea god Phorcys and Hecate, the mysterious goddess of witchcraft. In other myths, she was merely a beautiful young mortal woman who was transformed into a beast by Amphitrite after being caught having an affair with Poseidon. There is confusion as to the meaning of her name. Its archaic roots suggest it could mean she who rends, fitting for a man-eating sea monster, or puppy. This latter meaning seems weird and unfitting until we look at what Scylla is. While the monster still appears as a beautiful young woman on top, below her waist she possesses 6 long tentacle-like legs which each end in a ferocious dog-like head with 3 rows of teeth. Woof! Scylla was known to dwell in a cave in the cliffs on the mainland side of the Straits of Messina, and from inside, she would launch out each of her 6 living tentacles to attack ships. Each would grab a sailor, and all 6 would be dragged off to her lair to be consumed. For ancient sailors, to lose 6 men was a massive loss, but regardless, sailors in myth, like Odysseus and Jason, often preferred to sail closer to Scylla rather than Charybdis, who dwelled on the opposite side of the strait. So who is this Charybdis, and how could she possibly be scarier and deadlier than this half-dog tentacle monster hybrid? To the ancient Greeks, this made sense, as while Scylla could take 6 of your crew, Charybdis was more than likely to sink your ship and take your whole crew along with it. Like Scylla, Charybdis has multiple origin stories. In one myth, she is a voracious mortal woman who was so hungry she stole divine cattle from Hercules, so Zeus zapped her into the sea where she remained ever hungry and transformed into a monster. In a later myth, Charybdis is the daughter of Poseidon and the earth goddess Gaia, who is technically his grandmother. Yuck! Charybdis was loyal to her father, the sea god, and helped him engulf islands under the waves, which upset Zeus, who ruled over the land as well as the sky. Not a good enemy to make. Zeus chained her to the bottom of the seafloor and transformed her into a hideous monster with an unquenchable thirst for seawater. In both stories, Charybdis sits at the bottom of the sea, gulping down water, which results in the creation of whirlpools, perhaps one of the greatest hazards that ancient sailors would ever come across. These whirlpools could quite easily drag a ship down and take tens or hundreds of lives. It's no wonder then that, in myth, sailors often chose to go by Scylla instead of Charybdis. As sailing the Mediterranean was fundamental to the ancient Greek worldview, it is no wonder that Scylla and Charybdis appear in many of the most famous Greek and Roman myths, most notably the Odyssey, the Aeneid, in the Tales of Hercules, and in the Tale of the Argonauts. While it is easy to imagine these monsters as just myth, these stories of these two monsters served as an important lesson about the real-life dangers sailors faced when passing through the Straits of Messina. Closer to the Italian side was many high rocky cliffs that jutted out from the shore, which a boat could very easily crash into if they were caught off guard. Thus, the myth of Scylla served to teach them to avoid sailing close to the cliffs. On the opposite side of the strait lied actual whirlpools, which again would spell doom for any crew if they sailed too close. The myths of Scylla and Charybdis thus function not only as challenges for the greatest heroes to overcome, but as valuable lessons of warning for those brave Greeks who wish to sail the treacherous seas. Thanks for watching. To support our channel and learn more about the myths and legends that inspire us, please like this video and subscribe.